Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. The nazm that I have from Dr. Allama Muhammad Iqbal today, its title is Faqr, and it's from Bal-e-Jibril-167. Faqr, the meaning of Faqr in Urdu is to be content. Okay, so any person that is content in any given situation, you can call that person as Faqir. Okay, so it's like it includes everything. So content in all aspects. So that person would be Faqir. But the way I have understood it and the way I have defined it in my previous videos, so I'll continue with that definition. So Faqr, in my opinion, you can say it's a currency. Okay, so we have many currencies around in the world. So Faqr is another currency, but then there is a difference. So all other currencies that we are after in this world, living on this world, so they are for a certain time, so when a person when we move on to next dimension, so these currencies are of no value. Okay, and we know that, but this currency, which is Faqr, this is exceptional currency. So it works in all dimensions. Okay, it's not just valid in on this earth, but it is valid beyond. Okay, so forget about these points like life and death. So these are 2 points, So if you just ignore these two points, so this currency of Faqr, it works everywhere on that line. So you can see, like, if a person has this currency, so he'll enjoy his life, wherever he will be. So that's the title, Faqr. And एक फक्र से सिखाता है सैयाद को नखचीरी, एक फक्र से खुलते हैं असरार-ए-जहांगीरी. So there is this one Faqr, you can say there is one currency, or there any currency, and then there is a lust. Okay, so a person who is after any currency, that worldly currencies, and then, or you can say a person who is after lusts, any one lust or many lusts. So this lust, so this desire of him, it makes, and it can make a free man slave of that desire or of that lust or of that currency. So we are free. We are born free human beings in our thoughts, in our actions. We are free. But then when we are after, like, we spend, we leave our house in the morning and we touch the toes of this God, any God that we make, lust or currencies or any, and then we come back home and we again touch his feet, so as to get the blessing from him, and then we keep doing this every morning, any after. So a person who was supposed to be a free man, he becomes slave of this day and night stuff, and this his desires and his lusts. So but then there is another Faqr, the real one, the currency that works in all dimensions. So if a person strives for that currency, works for that currency, then there are ways to achieve it. It's very simple. Like you can work from home and you can still earn that currency. So this currency can open the gates of heaven, I would say, Asrar-e-Jahangeeri, the gates of heaven. So living on this earth, this person can see. So this dimension of matter, the stars that we see around us and up in the sky, and so this all kind of opens up, and then it shows him the next door, so that dimension that is after the matter's dimension. So he kind of, this currency, with this Faqr, he can actually see those things. एक फ़क्र से कौमों में Maskeeni-o-Dilgeeri, एक फ़क्र से मिट्टी में Khasiyat-e-Ikseeri. So again he compares two, so there is one Faqr that, a currency, or I would say a way of life in this case. So because he's talking about Qoum. So Qoum is a nation. So then there are nations, there are societies, there are people, groups of people, and they have their way of life. Okay, so the way they run their society or country. So their way of life, is like that. The picture that comes out of that society, the collective picture that you see of that society, is of like beggars or begging, So, and we see those. I don't relate it to our, country. So people like to beg around, for their survival, for everything. And they don't mind it, because that's the character, that's the overall character that you get from that society. Because they are following a way of life, which leads to this begging bowl. But then there is another Faqr, the real one, okay? So when a person attains that currency, so it's basically what he can do is that he can grab a handful of dirt from his land, from his soil, and then he can transform this handful of dirt into gold particles, okay? So he can develop, he can make his the worthless dirt turn into something very useful. Or in other words, you can say that he can transform his society. Just one person having that currency, he can transform his entire society, into something very good. Like, everyone can turn into a very good human being, okay? He can bring goodness out of them, okay? So then the total picture of that society changes. एक फ़क्र है शबीरी, इस फ़क्र में है मीरी, मीरास-e-Musalmani, Sarmaya-e-Shabiri. So then Iqbal kind of goes back in history, that this currency of, so this Faqr that works everywhere. So there were people who lived on this earth, and they were like, they had, immense wealth of this Faqr. So the most wealthy person, the richest person that has lived on this earth, his name was Imam Hussain Raziyallahu Anhu. Okay, so he was no one can achieve to his wealth that he attained. He had living on this earth. And then there were the first person to be, you can say, billionaire was Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. Okay, so he was the first one, and then the richest one was Imam Hussain. You can read their stories. So now this Imam Hussein's wealth is still here on this earth, okay? And this wealth is collective property. It's a collective heritage of all those who, who believe in him, so who follow his way of living. And his wealth is the heritage of all, it belongs to all of those. So if any group among people, among Muslims or any other group, he stands up and he says that, we are related to Imam Hussain, and all this currency of Faqr is for us, so you can have it through us, and we are the rightful owners, so then this would not be true, because because it belongs to everyone. No one group of individuals, group of people can stand up and say that we are related to him and we own all that, whatever he has left.